times we actually subtracted yesterday, right? But the biggest difference here is when we do these problems now, we're going to have our polynomial, and we're still going to have a polynomial in parentheses here and a polynomial in parentheses here. And then the biggest difference is the minus sign that's in between those two parentheses. So that's the whole key to everything. So I want to start out by just writing down a problem, so we can talk about the problem. So 7a plus 4 inside parentheses minus 9a plus 2. So when we did subtraction of integers, what did we always do to get rid of the minus sign? We changed it to what?
Division.
We added the opposite, right? Or keep, change, right? So we're going to keep, again, the first parentheses, change to addition, but then we need to change everything after that. And that's where the confusion sometimes gets. So essentially, you're going to basically change every single sign inside the second set of parentheses, or the parentheses after the minus sign. Okay, so you're going to change the sign of each, what would we call that? Monomial. Number's probably okay, but it's really could be a term, right? So again, we're going to change the sign. So when I rewrite this now, I would have 7a plus 4. I always keep the first parentheses. I change it to addition, like I already did, and then I'm going to come through and I'm going to change the signs. So negative 9a plus, now here's where you can make a decision. You can write plus negative 2, or I can just simply write what? Minus 2. So, or 7a plus 4 plus negative 9a minus 2. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm probably going to favor this version a little bit more so I don't have multiple signs in my problem. Sometimes that confuses people the most. Now, realistically, after I do this keep, change, do I really need to keep my parentheses in the problem? Not really, okay? So if you want to, you can also take those parentheses away from the problem too. And now we're right back to what we were doing yesterday, right? Okay, so we can do it any of the three ways. We can regroup the A's together, we can put them on top of each other and do it vertically, or we can just go through it and try to add and subtract like terms. So realistically, we're still back to what we were doing yesterday, adding and subtracting like terms, right? If the signs are the same, we add and use that sign. If the signs are different, we subtract and use the sign from the bigger one. Okay? So, how do you want to do it? Vertically. So, if you want to do it vertically, we just rewrite the problem. But now, it's a giant plus sign out here. And all of that's gone because we just rewrote it right over here. So now we're looking up and down. And why we do it vertically is because then we can line them all up with the like terms, right? So what's 7a plus negative 9a? Negative 2a. Signs were different, so we just subtracted, but we use the sign from the bigger one, right? 9's bigger than 7. And then what's 4 plus negative 2, or 4 minus 2? Positive 2. And my answer would be this.
Are we ever going to solve these?
Can't solve it, doesn't have an equal sign. You kind of solved it yesterday in that one section, right? When they gave you what a was and you stuck it in there. Okay? So, the biggest thing here is you're going to start going fast, and I know some of you get going too fast, and you're going to forget to change all of those. You're going to change the first one maybe, but you're going to forget about this second term. Or if there's 3 or 4 terms, you got to make sure that you go through that entire second parentheses and change every single sign of every single term in that second parentheses. Okay? That's the key to it all. So let's start with this one. 8, I'm going to change it to k squared, plus 6 in parentheses, minus 3k squared plus 6k plus 1. So here again, if you are going to not take the time to rewrite it and put it in vertical columns, that's okay. But again, remember that when I keep change, I'm going to add and I'm going to change every single sign in that problem. So if you're not going to line it up like this and you're just going to try to do it horizontally, when I write it down on my piece of paper, I'm going to probably make my changes as I go. I'm not going to write it down twice. All right, so this one right here, if I rewrite the problem again and I'm going to do it vertically, I'm going to spread this one out right here. Why do I do that? Because see how it went from k squared to my constant? I should or could have a k term in there, so I'm going to leave that space for my k term. So when I rewrite this one, I'm going to, as I rewrite this, I'm going to change it. So I've turned it to plus, keep change, I changed it to plus, and now I'm going to change all of these. So now it's negative 3k squared, it's negative 6k, and it's negative 1. Everybody go to that? So again now, if you don't want to do that and you want to try to do it horizontally, then we would say keep, and we would go through and change all of these that way. And you can totally do it that way too. That's totally fine. It's just however your melon works. So again, if I do this vertically, especially at the beginning, I think it helps. Now, basically, we're taking 8 minus 3, which is 5k squared, right? Remember, if I start out with the k squared, I got to end up with the k squared, unless what happens? They all die out, or we all kill them, right? Okay. How about this one? 0 plus negative 6k, or 0 minus 6k is negative 6k. And then what is 6 minus 1? Positive 5. Okay? All right. Try one more. Try to do this one over yourself. 6a squared minus 3a plus 9 minus 7a squared plus 5a minus 1. Now, where this is really going to get you sometimes is what we'll do on Monday. What we'll do on Monday is we'll put them together in addition and subtraction problems. So you'll be going along and you're going to have to flip-flop from addition and subtraction. And that's where it's going to kind of get some of you, because you're going to be going too fast and you don't like to show off your work all the time, and then you're going to get caught up in trouble, right?
I know what it is.
Mm-hmm. But, get up. So another way that maybe you could do this is if you're going to do it horizontally, maybe you use a different color. So we add and then change the sign here, change the sign here. And as Addie said, we would have really change the sign here, right? So 2 negatives make a positive. I'm going to come back and I'm going to erase this one. You just don't like 2 different signs. Maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. So what you come up with? How many a squareds do I have?
Negative 1.
Negative 1a squared. Do I need this one?
No.
Not necessarily, right? How many a's do I have?
8.
Negative 8 a's. And how many constants?
10.
Plus 10. How do we do?
Good.
Piece of cake?
Yeah.
A lot the same, right? It is. It really is. The biggest thing is you got to remember to do that step. And you can't forget about it when you're doing your assignment and you're going real fast. Got to slow down and make sure that you keep, change, but you change all that second polynomial. Good to go?
Yep.
That's it for today. Okay? So, for the rest of them next week, when we come back, Monday, we're going to have a review kind of sheet because, like you said, when I introduced the yesterday one, this is really, 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 really important. You got to kind of hammer this in.